This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very soon. So please stay tuned. Hello everybody, and welcome back to what is another quick video. What we've got for you today is another national hunt horse to follow over the next coming months and years. But before we crack on, I'd just like to say thank you very much to everybody for supporting the channel, whether it's via subscribing or watching the videos or liking the videos or whatever you're doing with them. I hope you are finding them all very helpful indeed. Thank you very much for the support. Long may it continue. The channel is just starting to pick up a bit of momentum now over in the last 90 to 100 days. And hopefully we will be able to crack on through to Cheltenham and then on to the 2023 Classics. And then it's just a matter of rinse and repeat every year. Before we crack on with the horse today, it would be very rude of me not to send you to the Reprieve Media CIC Racing 2020 website for those who want any more horses of any variety really, whether it be flat horses that were identified and probably have to be quite old now, because this site was run between 2018 and 2020. You know, it's full up now, 100%. That is why the capacity is what it is on these free hosting sites. But the website can be found at repciracing2020.ml. And all people need to do is scroll down to the Horses in Focus section and then fill their boots with the articles. Right, what a horse we have for you today, boys and girls. This was actually one of the first horses I identified back in 2019 when it won a listed handicap hurdle in France. It is the Simon Munier and Isaac Sweddy owned, Willie Mullins trained James Du Berlais, or James Du Berlais. I've heard him called both, to be fair to him. Sired by Mutahir out of a dam called King's Daughter. This horse won a listed handicap hurdle in November 2019, and then in 2020 it actually paid me 3 times. It won another listed handicap hurdle, then it won the Grade 3 Prix Casterabad at Auteuil when it beat Galileo Conti, and it also won the Group 3 Prix Pierre de Lassus, another Grade 3 hurdle, when it beat former Grade 1 winner Moises Has by 5 lengths. Now, this is a nice horse, very nice horse. Moises Has beat it in the Grade 1 hurdle, and it was also second behind another one of mine, For Fun, in the 2020 Prix Alain de Broye, which was ran at Compiègne. Now, For Fun now a stallion at stud. Now, so this horse has got very good form. It then went to Ireland in the end of 2021 and finished second in the Punchestown Champion Stayers Hurdle behind Classical Dream. And then wasn't seen really until January 2023. The 1st of January, New Year's Day, a special New Year's Day present to myself when it hosed up on its chase debut by 15 lengths at Fairy House. I mean, this is a horse that, as you can see, a variety of trips it's been effective at. Willie Mullins seems to have really upped the stamina though on its last 2 runs. It never ran that far in France. But this is a very nice horse, related to some nice horses. I mean, if people take a look at the dam, King's Daughter, they will see that she is French bred by King's Theatre out of a dam called Bint Gladi, trained by Robert Collet. And as you will see, there was another 3 horses, some nice horses on this line already. This is a line that seems to be just getting better. You look at the ones that were sold around the 2009, 2010, they all fell short. And then you've got the 2019, 2017, 2015 and the 2016. You know, all becoming pattern race horses, which is exactly what we're trying to identify over the jumps. Another horse I identified the same year was Goliath Du Berlais. James Du Berlais, I think he's his younger brother. No, his older brother. James Du Berlais is 8. is 7 now. Goliath Du Berlais is now 8. You'll see that he destroyed the 4-year-old Chase French division of 2019. It was fantastic to see him do it as well. Yeah, he's also got some very good hurdle form horses like Polarico in a 3-year-old Chase, and also behind horses like Pic Dory. Yeah, this horse is from the first crop of 3-year-old hurdlers I actually watched in France with any closeness, where we had horses like Pic Dory and Beaumec DOL going round. This was going round in the Chase division. A very nice stallion. You'll see it won the Grade 1 Prix Ferdinand Dufar by 14 lengths from Belapsis. The horse really was getting better. Belapsis was getting a bit sick of the sight of it, you'll see there. This horse is also now at stud in France. Another one that's worth looking at is in the same colours as this one, the 6-year-old version, Queen Du Berlais. Don't know whether they're going to planning to bring this one over to Ireland as well. But it's got a very similar profile, people see. It's actually won a Grade 3 Chase, won the Prix Fleuret, and then it also was 4th in a Grade 2 on the race after that behind Lillestrack. I mean, this is another Grade 3 winning horse that has paid me in the past at 43-10 in a pattern race. You know, there's plenty, you would think, of this 6-year-old mare. Plenty to come from her, whether it will be in France or in Ireland, time will tell. And then we've got this year's incarnation, the David Du Berlais. That actually raced in Beau Zenith's race. We've caught the end of it once. You know, when Beau Zenith, we looked at Beau Zenith earlier. You know, that was behind Beau Zenith, Blood Destiny. You know, this is a pretty fair horse as well. And then was 5th in another listed race behind Losange Bleu before winning the Prix de Platane listed race, 3-year-old hurdle in September 2022. You know, so this is a line that is just getting better as we go along. King's Daughter in herself, if people were to look at the form of King's Daughter, this is one really where we're going to go to France Gallop, I think, because a lot of these runs I feel are missing. Even though they have got it down as racing 30 times. People look at the France Gallop website, they'll see it raced 43 times, winning 7. The trouble with the France Gallop website is when they leave France, they don't look at them. If they race in France, outside of France, if they breed outside of France, yeah, they might as well not exist once they leave France, according to this site. So you've got to really fill in the puzzles with this site, really, because there's a chance I'll show you a good example in a minute, actually. You see the form of King's Daughter, though. On the flat, she was average. It's when they tried her over hurdles that she was actually quite good in the year of 2004, winning a Grade 3 hurdle and a listed hurdle in 2004. She was also placed in a Group 2 hurdle in 2005. So we're just looking for Grade 1 4th is the best she has done so far at that level. She then tried chasing, won her chase debut, and then sort of tailed off a bit. After that, started to have trouble getting round around 2006. And then you knew the writing was on the wall for her then in 2006 when she ended up racing at Cagnes-sur-Mer. You know, there's only one place after you've raced there, really, and that is retirement. But she had a very good career, Grade 1 4th, Grade 2 placed, Grade 3 and listed winning hurdler. You know, so this is a nicely bred horse. You know, if people look at the progeny, you'll see plenty of horses there as well. Son Du Berlais just fell short, Brother Du Berlais just fell short. Progeny of King's Daughter in France, raced 48 times and have won 17. And if you're waiting for next year's horse, it is called Hercule Du Berlais. That's one other good thing you like about the French. The France Gallop, they do list them as soon as they are born, they're on here. So we all know now that Hercule Du Berlais, we're waiting for Hercule Du Berlais in March 2023. And he'll be this year's 3-year-old hurdler. Off this line, you'll see that Daphne Du Berlais yet to see the track. The last 5, 4 out of the last 6 have been by Saint Cassant. 5 out of the last 9. Yeah, Muta here chucked in as well. Good measurement, won by Trempolino in 2011. She's seen the best of the best regarding French stallions. The second dam, we're going to take a look at Bint Bloody. And she'll see that as well as King's Daughter, who's only rated 122 by the Racing Post, somehow, there is also Lyrene Legend, who was rated 163 over fences and 148 over hurdles. This was a good horse. It struggled at Group 1 company. It was beaten behind Deddy Goot in the 2012 Cuffle Ryan Champion Novice Hurdle, where it was third. And it was also placed behind Lord Windermere in the 2013 RSA Chase as well at Cheltenham. And it was also placed in the Grouse Champion Novice Chase of 2013 behind Mount Ben Bullen. You know, it's got a form. I remember this horse because it used to race Boston Barber back in Focus, a few Howard Johnson horses back in the day. Yeah, but it was a good horse. It reached its best figure of 163 when it was 6th behind Lord Windermere in the 2014 Cheltenham Gold Cup. Its highest winning performance was a 148 when it beat Folsom Blue in the 2012 Michael Purcell Memorial Novice Hurdle at Grade 2. So that is a good horse in its own right. Bint Bloody on the track. Very modest really. Raced 29 times and winning twice. And you see there wasn't not much. Looking at this column here for pattern races. Etal I think means newcomers. Claimers. So I mean, I don't know what it means. I do look at it. I think the Stallions or Maiden or something. Etalon, Etalons. It is. There's only one listed run there where she was 7th at Longchamp in 1995. And if you check the breeding of her, she's had 22 winners out of 180 races. But you'll see that apart from King's Daughter, you'll see the italics is National Hunt pattern race. And the bold is flat pattern race. So you need to be looking for the italics over jumps. People to look at King's Daughter, you'll see plenty of italics there. That's what you need to be looking out for. The third dam was Takisam, very strangely named horse. I just wanted to show you something, the example I was going back earlier. If you look at King's Daughter's now progeny, you won't see Queen's Pier. Foaled in 2006. It's on this list in France because it's French foaled, but it never reached the track, and you won't see it on the Racing Post website. Queen's Pier is just not there. They just miss it out totally because it never saw the track. That's what you've got to be careful when cross-referencing some of these sites. Third dam, as you say, it's Kisam. Race 23 times and only won 3. Again, a handicapper, mainly in France. She was 7th in a listed race there. Rather like the second dam, but spent most of her time outside of Pattern Company. There you see the bold that we're looking for on the flat. With Call Me Sam, there's a few actually. Flat pattern race form starts to come in on this, but nothing too spectacular in my view. And you'll see there that a lot of them were rated. The highest was rated 105, French flag. He won 9 out of 21 races according to the Racing Post. But in reality, she won 15 out of 55. They have placed a lot more times than what the Racing Post would have us to believe. That's always a good indicator that the level is quite low. Excuse me, when they race so many times like this. The fourth dam, Honorariat, was by Wallier. And you'll see there that she's got the Racing Post and got her foal in the year 0, which is always an indicator that we are struggling. Again though, flatbred, pattern race form there from Met Mick Nick. And if people go and look on French Gallop, you'll see that Honorariat raced purely in claimers and handicaps really. Winning 3 out of 9 races. And again, she foaled 200 horses a race, 229 races. and have won 29. We didn't look at Ski Sam, 370 races, 42 wins. You know, stuff that you don't get on the English media. So on her way out, you'll see she's filled a lot more than that. She's foaled, all these horses have foaled in France, but not on the radar of Racing Post. Really, Argent Massif, Sneaked, some black type form as well. So we were struggling then, really. So it was off to the legacy sites, really, then for us. And we noticed James Du Berlais' family 19A, not one that we'd seen, we remembered. And there was a reason for that, really, because when we went on the other site, you see really that a lot of this stopped in the 20th century. We did find ours, though. We did definitely find ours. We had to go back a while to horses such as all the Etoiles we found. They're all on here, our Nouvelle Etoile and Etoile du Manoir. It's just a matter of, and there they are, you see. So while the dams are on this site, there's not really much going on, you see. The French Guineas winner of 1887. You know, that's where we are with this line. It's a purely used for National Hunt line, really, and the odd decent horse. You'll see Isonomy there. There's definitely a pre-Isonomy in France. But again, you're looking at horses in the 1930s. If anything, the part we're on is the most recent. You know, all this stops at 1887, and it takes hours to 1957. You know, and you won't really. There's one there. There's a bit there that goes to 1961 in Spain. You'll see that a lot of it really just 1971 there. French St. Leger winner. Well spotted by me. That wasn't missed that one earlier. So you see, it's not really. And then in the 90s, a bit in Scandinavia. Swedish Guineas winner of 1990. And a Scandinavian winner there as well. But it's an interesting line. One that you see very little of. You know, Goliath Du Berlais is a stallion on this line now over the jumps, and it'll be interesting to see. They've had a purple patch in the French 1850s there, with French Guineas and Oaks all day long, really. A few of them. But it's an interesting line nonetheless. Like I said, I was very pleased to see this horse turn up over fences. I've been waiting a few times to it hadn't ran for 600 odd days before it did this. So let's take a little look, shall we? And then we'll look at wrapping the video up.
Jerry. Starter lets them go at the 2-5. The McInerney Beginner's Chase. 15 fences to jump, and it's the short prize favourite James Du Berlais who strides on in front of Ballykeel and Capilano Bridge. Break of over 3 lengths to the second half of the field. Oscar West, Cartwright, and Junior Rattler. Heading for fence number 2. On the approach to the straight, it's James Du Berlais and Daryl Jacob in front of Ballykeel and Jack Kennedy. Capilano Bridge met the fence
no
in
messing
third.
about at fairy houses, then just tapes up and then straight into a nice
ridden away from
jumping rhythm, and you'll see that he's just looking
West
as though he's going to outclass
Ewing,
these really as soon
and
as
then
the tape goes
Cartwright
up.
and Dylan Maxwell with the back marker of an already nicely spaced out field was Junior Rattler and Philip Enright. Turning in for fences 3 and 4, and it's James Du Berlais returning from a long layoff. He's over the third, nicely in front of Ballykeel, with the white face in third is Capilano Bridge, and then Oscar West, Cartwright and Junior Rattler, all standing, coming to fence number 4 on the last one next time, and the McInerney Beginner's Chase. James Du Berlais, the leader from Ballykeel, then Capilano Bridge, who's followed by Oscar West, with the final couple, Cartwright and Junior Rattler. James Du Berlais safely out over the 4th. Leads with the circuit to go, Ballykeel, as these two in front break away from the third running Capilano Bridge, and then Oscar West. Cartwright has moved right away from Junior Rattler, who's last of the sextet, with the circuit and 11 more fences in front of them. James Du Berlais, the leader, by a widening 4 to 5 lengths over Ballykeel, 6-7 in front of a clear running Capilano Bridge in third. and then Oscar West and Cartwright, those two racing together out in front of Junior Rattler. Fence number 5 coming up. First of 3 along the side of the track. James Du Berlais, followed by Ballykeil Capilano Bridge, Oscar West, Cartwright and Junior Rattler. No changes in the order of running at their first ditch, the first of 2 ditches. James Du Berlais out in front of Ballykeil, gone well clear of in 3rd place Capilano Bridge, and then Oscar West, Cartwright and Junior Rattler. The 3rd and last one in this row coming up, James Du Berlais into it, pops it clear from Ballykeil, and then Capilano Bridge, Cartwright on the outside of Oscar West. The 6th of the 6, Junior Rattler. Reaching the halfway stage, 8 more fences left to jump, and further spaced out now as the odds-on favourite James Du Berlais meets the fence at the top of the track, leading by 5 to 6 over Ballykeil. Back in 3rd is Capilano Bridge, some way clear of Cartwright, who shifted away from Oscar West, and Junior Rattler. Now to the next 2 fences on the far side, with just over a mile to go. James Du Berlais over that one well from Ballykeil, and then Capilano Bridge heading for the last ditch. Fence 6 from the finish. James Du Berlais, Ballykeil, Capilano Bridge as they turn at the 7 furlong point. 5 more fences left to jump. In race 6, the McInerney Beginner's Chase, and it's James Du Berlais, held tightly together by Daryl Jacob, leads by 8 to 10 lengths with 5 to jump from Ballykeil and Jack Kennedy and Capilano Bridge and Charlie O'Dwyer. Now to the 5th last fence, 3 more to take them back in the final time. James Du Berlais, another proficient jump. Ballykeil over in 2nd, and 3rd is Capilano Bridge. Long way cleared of Cartwright. 5 furlongs to race and 4 fences left to jump. And it's James Du Berlais breaking further away from Ballykeil and Capilano Bridge. Ballykeil about to be pressed for that 2nd spot by Capilano Bridge. James Du Berlais, first semblance of a mistake, but was clever on landing. Ballykeil 2nd, then Capilano Bridge, Cartwright, Junior Rattler. Oscar West has been pulled up. Fence on the home turn. James Du Berlais safely over another from Ballykeil and Capilano Bridge, who appear to be in their private battle for 2nd and 3rd, as James Du Berlais turns in for the final 2 fences. Out in front of Capilano Bridge, who's winning the battle for 2nd ahead of Ballykeil, so turning in with 2 fences left to jump. And it's James Du Berlais and Daryl Jacob out in front of Capilano Bridge and Charlie O'Dwyer. James Du Berlais safely over 2 out. Ballykeil is a remote 3rd, landing steeply in 2nd, Capilano Bridge. But on the run to the final fence in the McInerney Beginner's Chase, there's a disparity in firepower between the sides as James Du Berlais comes down towards the last. Out in front of Capilano Bridge and Ballykeil, and with 1 fence left to jump, it is James Du Berlais, the long odds-on favourite. The mount of Daryl Jacob, safely over the last, is going to deliver the goods first time over fences, making all for Willie Mullins, ridden by Daryl Jacob. James Du Berlais gets the job done, and the McInerney Beginner's Chase with Capilano Bridge 2nd, Ballykeil will be 3rd.
Very straightforward for the 4-1 on favourite, James.
I mean, what can people say about that, really? I mean, I thought that for a horse that hadn't raced for around 600 days, I feel that was a lovely little run round for the horse. I'm not entirely sure it was the strongest race that anybody will see. In fact, I think the opposite will probably be true. But having not raced for 600 days, what do you want it to do? Race last year's that brilliant Albert Bartlett winner, first time out? Nonsense. You know, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they can paint this horse, whether they keep it low key after that, or whether they start to up it up in class quite quickly. Like I said, it'd be very interesting to see what they do. Right, I'm gonna think about wrapping up this video now. What I will do is leave a couple of cards at the end of the video. One allowing people to subscribe, if they so wish, to the channel so they don't miss any horses. And the other one will just be a list to the playlist of all the National Hunt horses that we've looked at so far, starting from October this year. I think, off the top of my head, I think this one will be the 11th that we've looked at. But for now, I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you very much for watching the video. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Hopefully, James Du Berlais, or James Du Berlais, who's always been James to me, will be one to keep on the right side. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and take care.